If someone breaks the law and serves his or her time, the hope is that they get a second chance. But that doesn't always happen. A felony is a tough thing to have on one's resume. But sometimes experience on Chicago's tougher streets can be an asset. This next story is about a Chicago man who got a second chance after prison and has made it work, not only for himself, but for the community he scarred 22 years ago. Here's Jay Shefsky.
The people in this room are all trying to put some part of the past behind them. They're here to learn about a service that transforms old tattoos into new ones. And whether they have the name of an old abusive boyfriend or a gang tattoo, everyone is looking to rebuild their lives. But one man looks like he's already made it.
Well, I'm an executive director to a nonprofit agency in Pilsen Little Village. I run a homeless shelter for men, women, and children.
His name is Israel Vargas. His tattoo is hidden under his nicely tailored suit. It's an emblem of a street gang, and it covers his entire back.
By having this on my back, I've always had to worry about having my shirt off in a water park with my kids.
Vargas got this tattoo from his cellmate during the 12 years he spent in prison.
They said, if this guy is crazy enough to put something that huge in his back, you do not mess with him.
Israel Vargas came to Chicago from Puerto Rico when he was 12 years old.
I come from a family where in Puerto Rico, we went to church every Sunday, very Catholic. I was an altar boy, and then all of a sudden, it was me hanging on the corner until late nights, picking fights.
For the next 3 years, Vargas's involvement in the gang grew. Then, on January 17, 1990, he walked into bigger trouble. A drive-by shooting led to retaliation, and Vargas went to prison for murder. 16 years later, Israel Vargas became executive director of the San Jose Obrero Mission in Pilsen and Little Village. He oversees 18 employees, a $1 million budget, and 2 homeless shelters for men, women, and children.
Our job is to take them out of the street one by one, put them in a safe place, help them with their barriers, and eventually get them to become self-sufficient.
According to court records, Israel Vargas did not pull the trigger, but as an accomplice, he was still convicted of murder and sentenced to 35 years. When he arrived at Pontiac Prison, he says he went into survival mode, and it sounds like he was both smart and lucky. He allied himself with the leader of his gang. That was smart. The gang leader was enrolled in school, and that, as it turned out, was lucky.
And I'm thinking to myself, okay, this guy has security on him all the time. If I go to school with him, that means that his security can be my security. So I started going to school.
So you went to school to protect yourself, not yet because you were going to become the head of an organization someday.
No, to protect myself.
So while in prison, Vargas earned 2 associate degrees and a minor in computer science. And after 12 years and 9 months, he was out on parole.
I needed to serve some time, and not 2 years. It's very hard to come back when you're lost.
At the San Jose Obrero homeless shelter, the residents are assigned a career counselor, they get computer access, and they meet with Israel Vargas.
I became homeless at the age of 19, I think. And I was sleeping on the trains, and I was sleeping on stairwells.
Israel has an edge that a lot of academic people, if you will, don't have, in that Israel has experienced many of these bad choices and the consequences of those choices.
You tend to be able to accept what someone has to say if they've been through a similar situation. So yeah, it gives it a lot of credibility. You know, wow, you know, he's a director, you know, an executive director of an organization. If he did it, I can do it too.
And when I came out, I had 4 goals: to establish a family, to engage in a career, to continue my education, and to buy a house.
That was 2002. 3 years later, he had met all those goals. Israel Vargas knows that he can't take all the credit for this success because he came back to a support system. He stayed with his mom for a while, and his brother helped him get his first job. And he knows, and he sees every day, that not everyone has that kind of support. so he tries to provide it. For Chicago Tonight, this is Jay Shefsky.
And there's more about Israel Vargas and the San Jose Obrero mission on our website.